we now have a new trailer for Star Wars Visions Season 3, and honestly, I want to talk about it, because I really genuinely think that it is one of the best things to come out of Star Wars in years. And really, I'm talking about Star Wars Visions as a whole. The entire show, and just the concept of the show, is something I find truly fascinating and really do enjoy. And really, at this point, it should go without saying that in recent years, the Star Wars franchise has had a lot of phenomenal highs and a lot of phenomenal lows. Of course, recently we got to see the end of Andor, the critically acclaimed series that really broadened our understanding of the Galactic Civil War and all of its contestants, whilst also still providing enough time to truly explore fascinating and truly ingenious ideas, themes, and concepts. And within the same decade, we also got The Rise of Skywalker. And yeah, they fly now.
They fly now!
But hey, you know me, and I don't really want to dwell on the things that I've found a little disappointing. Instead, I want to take some time out of my day-to-day to actually talk about something I've really enjoyed. Yes, Star Wars Visions. I have loved this show ever since the first season. Seriously, I truly believe that Star Wars Visions is something unique and something that I haven't seen anywhere else. It's a brilliant, fun and beautiful little series that provides for so much experimentation and exploration within the Star Wars universe. And of course, I don't just love this series because of what it does with the Star Wars brand or what it does with the story or anything like that. I honestly couldn't care less if these stories were canon or if they weren't canon. Honestly, I just love the series for what it is. The entire show is something that is just so beautiful and so unique than anything else we've gotten from the Star Wars brand. And of course, for anyone who doesn't know what Star Wars Visions is, please, allow me to explain. Basically, the general concept of this show evolves around Disney and Lucasfilm taking the Star Wars IP around the world to smaller animation studios to see how they will put together their own little Star Wars short film. The general goal of the series is to provide viewers with a new lens to see the Star Wars universe through, as these animation studios from across the world are able to infuse the Star Wars IP with their own cultural ideas and really put something together that's very unique from anything that's come before it. In the run-up to the show's first season, I of course saw many fans thinking that when it came to this idea, it would mean that many studios would just change the aesthetics of what Star Wars was. And honestly, I didn't really jive with that idea, so I was happily proven right when the show's first season came out and we got to see various different shorts. And yes, with several of the shorts we got in the first season, many of the aesthetics were changed, but also several of the stories were infused with various different cultural ideas from the various studios that put those shorts together. And this is something that is continued throughout the entirety of the show. Star Wars Visions is something that really likes to experiment with art styles, but also story, tone, and theming. It's something that I've always found to be a joy to watch because every time you go into a new episode, you can find something different. The show has featured art styles reminiscent of anime, stop motion, and cartoons, whilst also featuring and touching on in-depth themes and ideas of colonialism, imperialism, and just what the Force is and how different religions will tackle it across the Star Wars universe. And the show does all of these things while still being a Star Wars show. And what I mean by that is that while still tackling these more mature ideas, this show isn't afraid to just let loose and have fun. At its core, every studio and every creator understands what they're creating, which is a Star Wars short film, and so they just know to have fun with it. Seriously, you get a variety of different tones with different stories across entire seasons. Hell, sometimes individual episodes will play with the tone to such a degree that you don't know what's happening, until you finally get to the end. At which point you're able to look back and understand the depth of the story you've been engaging with and are able to engage with it on a different level. Because you realise you haven't just seen a Star Wars story, you've seen a Star Wars story that has been infused with a variety of different ideas that you probably won't see anywhere else.
Trust in the Force and its energy, which binds all living things.
And hey, I'm an animation YouTuber, so let's just jump straight to the subject I know most people are here for, the animation. And of course, I love the animation in this show. The entire core of this show is centered around Star Wars exploring its ideas and its themes, but also exploring how those stories, themes, and ideas are presented to the audience. And of course, Star Wars and George Lucas have a long history of exploring various different ideas in terms of art and history from all over the world. George infamously had a massive library at Skywalker Ranch where he could go in and he could pick books off shelves and he could look at costumes, empires, all kinds of things, and these greatly inspired just his visual look for the franchise. And this is something that truly and properly gets to be explored in depth here, as a variety of different studios from across the world are able to put their own cultural touch on the aesthetics of whatever it is they want to create. Seriously, if there was a Fairy Parents styled The Rules book for the aesthetics of Star Wars, well, this show would take that book and shred it to pieces. Because, of course, yes, the creators making these films know they're making a Star Wars short film, but really, they're making their own Star Wars short film. The individual studios that put these films together really understand what the assignment is, and so they go to town on that assignment and they really put something together that is so unique looking from anything else in the franchise. In fact, these episodes are all so unique looking that they're unique from every other episode in the show. And what I mean by that is that every episode has its own visual look and style. Every episode plays with and experiments with a variety of new ideas when it comes to its aesthetics. Seriously, every episode plays with its own aesthetic ideas in a unique way. You won't go from one episode to another episode thinking that they both look alike. For example, the show has a variety of very slow episodes which take a lot of time and they're very smooth and very meticulously animated. But also, in comparison to that, the show also has a lot of very fast episodes, very high-paced episodes. Seriously, you can go from a very slow episode, like The Ninth Bride in Season 1, to then also watching a much higher-paced and much faster episode with The Elder, also in Season 1. And the show doesn't just experiment with the pacing of its animation, it experiments with everything. Every art style is distinct from one another in every episode. You have 2D episodes, you have 3D episodes, you have anime episodes, you have cartoon episodes. The show has everything. And when it comes to the entirety of the show, I cannot pick out one episode with an art style that I truly didn't like. I loved every episode's art style, and I thought all of the episodes looked beautiful. And really, what's so great about this show is that even if something isn't working for you, you can just jump straight into the next episode and have something entirely different presented to you. It's a show with a core concept that allows for a truly massive amount of experimentation. It's not something like Marvel's What If series, which only really allows for a small amount of experimentation. Instead, it's something that allows for each studio and each artist to put their own little mark on the Star Wars franchise. And that is why I love this series. The show hasn't been manufactured to just fill a slot on Disney+. Instead, it's been put together by a fantastic team of worldwide artists and animators and studios who have all wanted to put their own individual mark on the franchise, and who have been allowed the freedom to do what they want with their own individual stories. So yes, Season 3 of Star Wars Visions is coming out soon, and I love this show. Please, if you haven't watched it already, go out and watch it now, because it's truly worth your time. Now, if you want to get into the show and you haven't already, please allow me to suggest a few episodes I think you might like. Season 1's Episode 3, The Twins, is a fantastically animated little short with a fight scene between two twins born to the dark side. It's fantastic and I think you'll enjoy it. Season 1's Episode 7, The Elder, is a fantastically paced and really quite mature and interesting story which I think a lot of people will really enjoy. And finally, Season 2's Episode 2, Screecher's Reach, is a beautifully animated little short that I think a lot of people will find quite interesting. And those are my recommendations for episodes. So please, everybody, let me know of what you think about Star Wars Visions in the comment section down below. Tell me whether or not you are excited for Season 3 of Star Wars Visions, do all the YouTube stuff, like, subscribe and comment, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye.